What's your favorite movie?
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. Why?
I don't know why. It's just fun. It's something that you can sit down with girlfriends, or you can sit down with your husband, or you can sit down with your kids. Everyone gets a laugh out of it, so it's good. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Easy to watch.
What the movie? What's the message that it passes to?
What message does it pass to you? Whatever life throws at you, just keep going, because at the end of the day, if you've got the ambition and you've got the drive, you'll get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
So I guess that's part of the message, and just get out there and have fun.
It's a good message. Yeah. Do you know if this movie is from Hollywood?
I would have no idea if it's from Hollywood. I suspect it is. I suspect because it's American, and that's
Yeah.
so you'd be thinking that that's what it was.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, no-
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Titanic, I guess.
Why?
Because I watched it when I was a teenager, and it was a blockbuster, definitely. And I like the message of the movie.
What's the message of it?
I believe that the message is to believe in love, and I am a person who believes in love.
Okay. Do you know if it's from Hollywood?
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's from Hollywood.
Okay. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, girls.
So, what's your favorite movie?
I think my favorite movie is The Fault in Our Stars.
Why?
I love this film. When I watched it, I cried a lot, and it made me think of life. So I really loved it.
And what's the message of it?
The message that you have to enjoy life more than most of the time, because sometimes something appears in your life and you have to deal with it, to dare to face difficult things. So I think the message is to enjoy life.
Okay. And do you know if it's from Hollywood?
I don't know. I think it's not.
Okay, that's all. Thank you. Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
I know
You know?
it.
Yeah. Who's the actor in it?
Oh, I don't know the name of the actor.
Yeah, I know
I
it.
don't know the name of actors, but I know it. My dad likes it.
He's the guy who was the governor of California.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's from Austria.
Oh, that's cool.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, have you heard of him?
Sorry?
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
No, okay, he's a famous actor.
Oh,
I'm sure you
okay.
guys will know a photo of him.
Yeah, if I see him, I maybe know it.
Okay, what's the second question?
What's the message that the movie passes to you?
It's not a very good message in the movie because it's an action movie, so it's really promoting violence. So this, I guess, the message it would be portraying would be like protecting the ones you love. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he
that's
protects his team, you know. Yeah.
And why?
What's the third one?
It's our favorite movie.
Why is it? Because I'm like born in the 80s, and that's,
Okay.
action movies were like the big thing when I was growing up. So that's the reason why.
Do you know if this movie is from Hollywood?
It's definitely from Hollywood.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all.
No
Thank you
worries.
so much. So, what's your favorite movie?
The Big Lebowski,
And why?
because the casting was really good. All the characters were excellent in it. The story was amazing, and I just related to the protagonist of the movie.
And what's the message of it?
The message of it is don't take anything too seriously, and enjoy life.
That's cool. Do you know if it's from Hollywood?
Is it from Hollywood? Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So that's all.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I am the director of admissions. So basically, I end up speaking to most of the students before they enroll. So at some point, you would end up speaking to me or Diana, who's my coworker, who also does admissions. So,
Oh,
and I do, you know, other stuff. I book the theater for rentals and things like that. So, yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
And what about like in what way do you work with the students, like to prepare them? It's like something.
What do you mean for as far as for a career in Hollywood?
Yeah.
So what we do, hi Natalia.
Hello.
Hi.
What we do is we're a filmmaking, screenwriting, and filmmaking, acting, and screenwriting school. So basically what we do is we try to, sorry, I don't know what this is, so I can't take this right now. What we do is we try to prepare them not just with the technical part of being an actor, but also understanding how the business works. So we have a lot of classes that are like launching your film career, for example, which is learning how the business works. And so, you know, it's because you can be a great actor and a great filmmaker and all that, but if you don't understand how to market yourself, you're not really going to work. It's not about who you know, it's about, you know, it helps to know people, but at the same time, you have to know how the business works. So, yeah.
And about the Hollywood movies, is it what's your for example, what's your favorite movie in your critical thinking? Like,
Well, my favorite movie of all time is a movie called Scent of a Woman, which is a movie with Al Pacino from like the
Wow.
early 90s where he won Best Actor. So it's a great film, and there's no action, there's nothing blowing up, there's really, you know, it's just two people talking most of the time, and it's just it's a very moving film. So
oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
it's great. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
And what about
The
about
message?
Yeah.
The films.
The message of the film?
Yeah.
Well, there's a younger character. The main character Al Pacino plays he's a retired army person who has lost his sight. And his idea is that he's going to take all the money that he has saved up from his disability checks, because he gets paid because he's blind now, is that he's going to go and tour New York City and do a bunch of crazy things, and then at the end of it he's going to commit suicide. But he's blind, so he needs someone to go with him. So he takes a younger character who is babysitting him for the weekend, essentially. And then throughout the film they become friends, and at the end it's a question of, is life worth living? Should I really do this? And it's just a great movie. So yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
so
and I don't want to give anything away, but it's a really interesting, because
Yeah.
he finds a reason to live even though he's blind, pretty much. So yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're looking at the hall here, and
Mhm.
you have you already had a lot of students that ended up in movies and those.
We have a lot of students that have ended up as basically working actors, meaning, you know, it's not somebody that you're gonna know when you see them on the street, you know, because there's only maybe 30 to 50 actors that you would know by name. Everybody else is just kind of like, how do I know that person? So we've had a lot of people who've done a lot of work. We've had a couple people, I'm sure you saw, like Kim Jung.
Yeah.
Kim, yeah. So he was a student here, and he's done really, really well. But we try not to focus on that. We try to focus more on making people working actors, because that should be your goal. If your goal is to be the biggest person in Hollywood, you're going to be disappointed most of the time, because there's only a few of those people.
Yeah,
So if you're realistic and you just want to be an actor for a living, you know, and not have to have a second job, you know, driving Lyft or waiting tables or whatever, that should be your first goal, is to just not have a second job. And, you know, we've had a lot of people who've ended up being actors for a living, which I think is pretty great. So yeah.
And how do you feel like seeing all the students there like in good jobs now, acting or whatever?
Well, it's, you know, I've only been at this school for a little over a year. The school's been here for 20 plus years, so it's hard to say with this school, but I've seen, you know, a lot of people at other schools that I've worked at that have also done really well too. So it's a really unique thing. It's really cool to see, because you see people come in, they're very nervous, they don't, you know, really know what they're doing, and then by the time they leave, you know, just that extra confidence that they have. And, you know, when you know what you're doing, you're a lot more likely to take risks and not be a boring actor. So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, it's great.
How did you choose this career? You know, like.
I ended up working at the last acting school as I didn't really have a lot of experience acting, just a little bit in high school. And then I got the job, and then I started taking classes there just so that I could understand it a little bit better. And so then I ended up falling in love with acting, and then I've been doing it, since. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
so it was originally just a job, and then I kind of fell in love with the craft.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It would be something that it's really remarkable, right, in the people's lives. Like it's something that.
Yeah, it's even the people who don't become famous actors or whatever, there's no time limit. So you might have somebody who goes to the school when they're 20 years old, falls in love with acting, and then life happens and they go do something else, and they get married or get a different job. And that's a great thing about acting, is that you can always come back to it, and a lot of people do. So
That's so cool.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's not like sports where once you hit a certain age you're done.
You're done.
Whereas an
Yeah.
actor, they always need older actors to play older parts as well. So it's
So
it's never too late, which is very cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Since you've done acting, how is about preparing to do some role or?
Well, the first thing is just you have to know your lines. You can't even start to do the real work until you know your lines. A lot of people think that's all you have to do is just know what the words are, but then you have to understand who is this character, and every one of us has things that have happened to us in our life that make us who we are right now. So you really have to start thinking about what has this character gone through, and it's not usually in the script. So it's something that you have to use your imagination for, and you have to create a backstory. And you have to ask yourself, when there's another character, how do I feel about the other character? Because the words might be "I love you," but if somebody's like "I love you" and they yell it at the person, now it's confusing. And so you can make different choices. It doesn't always have to be sweet just because the words are "I love you," and then all of a sudden people are just blown away and they don't understand what's going on. Why did he yell that? So it's not necessarily just the words. It's all about the interactions between the characters and their history, and what do I want from this character in this scene. Like if all I really want is for this character to leave, everything I say should be in service of getting them out of the room. So, and then if their job is to stay, well then they're gonna fight against that, and then it's fun to watch. So yeah.
Has already happened like something that sometimes it wasn't in the script, but that's happened. Is
Oh
this
yeah,
common?
yeah. It happens. Yeah, it happens a lot. Like someone will get fired from a job in a scene, for example, and there's a bunch of papers on the boss's desk. Well, your natural instinct would be to just grab them and just throw them all over the ground. And sometimes you just follow that instinct, and you shock everybody, because you're not supposed to do that. And the worst thing that's going to happen is the director or somebody might yell at you and say, what did you do that for? But the best thing that might happen is, oh my God, that was so amazing. I didn't, where did that come from? And it's just not fighting your own instincts. Because when you want to do something and you don't, you can see it on camera. So, sometimes you need to just take a risk.
How's the feeling of seeing you in a camera?
Weird. Very weird. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but it's definitely odd. You're always your worst critic, and you always think everything you do is horrible, and so. But that's good. If you think you're amazing, then you've probably got issues.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah. So
I think that's all.
anything else?
Yeah, I think that's
Thank
all.
you
Awesome.
so much.
Thank
Of
you
course,
so
of
much.
course.
Thanks a lot.
I'm gonna